Hi, this is the last part of uh, valuation model chapter number 6 of SPM VVM subject. So if you have not watched the previous videos, watch that so you can understand the concepts and you can solve the questions easily. So right now I'm on illustration number 26. Now only few illustrations are left to finish this chapter. So I'm just starting with the illustration number 26. Now Shiva Limited gives the following information. I'm on page number 254. Okay, profit after tax has been provided 100 lakhs and its growth rate is compounded interest, that is 8% per annum. Okay, now cash flows after taxes are also provided. Now you would think why this both are being given. This both are two different things. Profit after tax is a different things. Cash flow after tax for the period is different thing. Okay, so both are different because it does not includes non-cash flows things like depreciation and all that. Here also the growth rate is different, that is 7%, and MPS provided 900 equity share capital, 1 crore into shares of 100 each. That means there are 1 lakh shares. Okay, 1 crore divided by 100 each, that is 1 lakh shares are there. Now we have to find profit after tax. This the value of business is to be found for the 8-year period and using 10% discount rate. Okay, and other way to find the value of businesses by capitalizing the current. So two ways we have to find, through discounting as well as capitalizing. So first we'll find through discounting. As it grows as compoundedly, so 100 plus 8% would be 108. So next year we'll get interest, will growth rate be on calculated on 108, and the same way for the 8 years it would be done. Profit after tax, the growth rate is 8%. Cash flow after tax, the growth rate is 7%. So both way we can find the discount rate is 10%. This is how calculated, 10%. So 1.10 divided by 2 times for the year end 1. This would be the values, multiplying this we'll get this. Now the second year we have to just press equal to sign, so we'll get the other year value. So the same way we have to find every year present value factor, and adding that we'll get the value of business. Value of business is 737.23, and cash flow, through cash flow calculation it is 884.77. Now using capitalization method, we know how to find the capitalization rate. Capitalization rate is 1 divided by P ratio. Now we are having MPS. MPS they have given as 900, and it's same way 900 both the cases. Okay, we need EPS. We know 1 lakh shares are there. Profit after tax divided by 1 lakh shares will get earning per share. So we have written both. P ratio is price upon EPS, so dividing we will get 9%, 9%. Okay, so capitalization rate would be 1 divided by P ratio, 1 divided by 9%, that is 11.11 percentage. Now this profit after tax would be capitalized in this case 125 divided by 11.11 percentage would give 1125.11 lakhs. Both the method we have to find the value of business. Now what they have told, we have here just the summary has been given, like for the profit after tax through discounted way and capitalization value would be this, and average has been found dividing all, adding all the 4 and dividing with 4 we'll get 911.80. So now on illustration number 27, here Kolkata Limited and Mumbai Limited have agreed that Kolkata Limited will take over the business of Mumbai Limited from 31st December 2013. Okay, 10 lakh shareholders, see Kolkata is going to take over Mumbai. Okay, so Kolkata will have to pay the money. 10 lakh shareholders of Mumbai Limited will receive shares, and the swap ratio is determined on the basis of 26-week average market prices of shares of both the companies. Now the both the companies average prices are been given, that is 50 and 25. How the swap ratio is found, we know how it's been found. It's already we have studied in the last chapter of this what we say of this book. 25 divided by 50 would be there, because 25 we are going to acquire. So acquired company. Now illustration number 27. Here Kolkata and Mumbai Limited are there. Kolkata is going to take over the business of Mumbai, and like we can say Kolkata is there, Mumbai business Kolkata is going to take, but has to pay purchase consideration. Okay, so while paying, they have written 10 lakh shareholders are there of Mumbai Limited. There are 10 lakh, and they are going to receive the shares of this company. The swap ratio is on the basis of 26-week average market prices of both the companies. The swap ratio we have to find. Swap ratio is target company divided by acquired company. So 25 divided by 50, we'll get the swap ratio. Okay. The shares would be given in this ratio. Now what they are saying about this, in addition, they are also paid cash for the synergy. Okay, now the synergy is going to be 50% of the projected benefits. So this value which we'll find of the companies, 50% would be the synergy which would be paid in cash. Now the benefit is estimated to grow. This projections are been given from 2018 onwards. The growth rate is 2%, and this discount rate is 20%. Okay, so this is going to be for infinity period of time. So we have to find the terminal value. We have to find the cash, what the for the each share as well as for the total purchase consideration. Discounting rate they have already given, so we have to just multiply with the values. Okay, so the time scale would be this: 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and so on. And here the projections have been given, like 14 we are having 50 lakhs, 75, 90, 100, 105. From 18 onwards, they are saying it's estimated to grow at 2% growth rate. So we have to find terminal value. For finding the terminal value, we take the cash flow of 2019. If we know the cash flow of 105 of 2018, we can find easily a cash flow of 2019, that is CF1 plus G. So if you'll do, you'll get 107.1. Putting in the formula, K is 20% is the discount rate, minus 2% the growth rate, will get 595. Okay, now we'll bring every of them to the present value. We got the values up to this much is already given the question. From 2018 onwards, we got the value 595 as a terminal value. Okay, now we'll bring every term and cash flows to the present year. So for bringing, they have given the discount rate in the question. So we have to just multiply with this. We'll get the present value of all those cash flows. Okay, and for 595, this is from 2018 onwards. So we are right now here. So for bringing here on the present value, we'll have to multiply with this value. So if we'll multiply, we'll get the value as 239.19. We'll add all those values, and later we'll get the present value. Okay, so the present value of the business is 475.41. Now 50% is the synergy which would be given in cash for the every share. Now we have got the 50% of this, so this is the synergy for every share held. Now there are 10 lakh shares, so dividing with this lakhs divided by 10 lakh, we'll get 23.77. So first answer is correct. Now what they have told, equity share would be paid as well as cash would be given. Equity share for the 10 lakh shares is given at swap ratio, thus multiplied by the current value of the shares in the Kolkata Limited is 50 rupees. So the equity share would be 250 lakhs, and the 50% of the synergy that is going to be given in the cash is 237.70 lakhs. So the total purchase consideration for the company is 487.70. This will take total, but they have also asked to find for each share. So for each share, we'll divide with the number of shares, we'll get 23.77. So this is how illustration 27 is solved. Now illustration number 28. XY Limited is specialized in the garments manufacturing and is planning to expand. So it has approached an investment bank and asked whether the company would give the venture capital financing. Now in 2011, the company has borrowed 100 lakhs for which it is paying interest at 10% per annum. Now the shares are unquoted. Valuation of business we have to do. They have given the probability and the turnover and everything. And what else in the questions have been given, that operating costs are including of depreciation, and it's expected to be 40% and 35% of the turnover. Okay, tax is 30%. As it is said that it includes depreciation, so to find the cash flow, what we do, we add those depreciation because this is non-cash flow thing, so we'll add those things in the profit after tax. But here they are told it is assumed that profit after interest and taxes are free cash flow, so we need not add the depreciation back to the profit after tax. Growth has been given 40% for the year 2017, 18, 19. This is a 15, 16, and after that it's going to grow at 40%, and from 2019 onwards it's going to fall. Okay, and cost of equity, the discount rate is 15%. So for first 2 years we'll find for 2015 and 16. To find the probability is given, so this is the weighted average, we can say weights have been provided. We'll multiply all the three and then we'll add, so we'll get the turnover as, we'll multiply, we'll get 1770 lakhs. Okay, for the year 2016, two probabilities are there, maybe it might be for half yearly. So what we'll do, how it's been found, 0.6 into 0.7 and 0.6 into 0.3, 0.3 into 0.5, 0.3 into 0.5. This is how it's been solved. We have solved in intermediate also. We'll find all the weights. After finding all the weighted average is to be found, we'll just multiply with the values, that is turnovers, which have been listed. Okay, so both of them doing the calculation will get the turnover. Now they have told it's 40% is the operation cost. Okay, so we'll multiply the 40%, we'll get the operational cost. Interest is 10 rupees, that is 100 lakhs, which is borrowed at 10%. So interest will pay 10. So reducing, we'll get profit before tax. 30% is the tax rate. So it would be, this has round off, so round off amount. So we'll reduce it, we'll get the cash flows. We need not to add this depreciation because they have told it is assumed profit after tax is the cash flows. So right now we found this. Now we have to find the value of business. So we are having both 2015 value and 2016 is going with a growth rate of 40% till 2019. So 1039 plus 40%, 1455 plus 40% plus 40%, and from 2019 onwards till the infinity period of time it's 10%. So we'll have to find a terminal value. So this is the time scale. We have plotted all the values, 2015 and 16, and later 40% added, and from 2019 onwards it's terminal value. For finding the terminal value, we are having the formula of CF1, that is KE minus G. So CF1 from 2019, so it would be this year. This year could be found how? 2019 multiplied by 1 plus growth rate is 10%. So we'll get 3137.2. Putting this into the formula, the value is 15% minus 10% growth rate is going to give 62744. So we have arrived with the values. Now we know the cash flows at the end of every year, and from this year onwards the cash flows are 62744. Now we'll bring to the present value. Present value 15% discount rate. If we'll bring to the present value, we'll take every cash flows to the forward will bring to the present, and this also will multiply with this discounting year discounting rate. Okay, so that is 0.497. so discounting will get all the present value, will add all of them, so we'll get the value of business, that is 36145. The main difference in this question is only the probability part, so only this is important. Rest all are the same which we used to do in the previous question. Now illustration number 29. You are the director of Ram company, one of the projects you are considering, that is you are going to acquire the Sham. Sham, the owner, is considered to sell, but only if he is going to get 5 million, that is 50 lakhs. So we'll have to find first the cash flow, the value of business, and the 50 lakhs which we are going to pay, is it worth or not? We have to calculate that. So it's pretty simple. It's cash flows are given, we have to just bring to the present value, and what they have told is just tax rate is given and all, so it's quite simple. We'll bring every year cash flows to the present value, then we'll add the value of the business is 74 lakhs around, but we are only required to pay 50 lakhs. So obviously Ram company can consider buying the Sham company because the value is much more higher and greater than the amount which we are going to pay. Illustration number 30. Idea Limited was incorporated on 1st April 2016, and they, for the purpose of acquiring P Limited, Q Limited and R Limited. So Idea Limited is going to acquire these three companies. The balance sheet has been provided, the annual profits before interest is given, okay, and it has been revalued, okay, fine. Then there are certain other adjustments too later. Here they have told the E point, Idea Limited will issue 12% debentures at par in amount equal to net assets of each acquired company. Okay, so we have to find net assets, and if we'll find the net asset value, that value 12% debentures would be issued at par for those values. Okay, so for finding the net asset value, we know all the total assets would be taken at the even considering the revalued amount, and after taking that we'll reduce the outside liabilities. Okay, so here what points they have given, the recorded value of goodwill is to be ignored, so we'll not take the goodwill value. Okay, later land and buildings, these are all revalued, so these three things we'll take this values, revalued amount. And current assets, the current assets are stocks, debtors and cash and bank. They are to be accepted the reported amounts which has been given the balance sheet, the same amount we have to take. Okay, so valuation adjustments are to be borne by individual companies before completion of acquisition. So individually we have to find for the three companies. So the net assets could be found, this total asset which I told you right now, we'll take those values and we'll reduce the outside liabilities, that are 10% term loan and the current liabilities. So reducing that, we'll get the net asset value for the three companies, okay, P, Q and R. And for this, the consideration would be paid as 12% debentures. Okay, so we have written that. Now what it says, Idea Limited will issue equity shares of rupees 10 each at par for the capitalized value of the average profits of each acquired company in excess of net assets. Okay, so we have to find capitalized value of average profit where the capitalization rate is given. So average profit we are required to find. Here they are given average annual profit before interest 4,50,000, 6 lakh and R Limited 2,50,000. So if we'll reduce 10% loan interest amount, 3,50,000, 10%, 35,000 and all, so we will get the profit after tax amount. Okay, now this is to be capitalized at 10%. So capitalization dividing by 10%, we'll get the capitalized value. They have told in excess of net assets, that is this, in excess it would be issued in shares. So the consideration in shares is this, consideration in debentures is this. So total consideration is the capitalized value. Okay, now what have they asked? Calculate amount of debenture equity shares, which we have already found. Now in the first 259 page, first line, they have told calculate the effect of the scheme on Q Limited's profitability if Idea Limited earns a net profit of 25 lakh profit before interest for the year ended this. Okay, so what here says, now Idea Limited is earning net profit of 25 lakh. We have to find Q Limited, the shareholders, the benefit the shareholders getting in the Q Limited if it has been acquired, and the net profit of our Idea Limited is 25 lakhs. So let's go reverse calculation. So here profit before interest and tax is given as 25 lakhs, which the Idea Limited has. Now from this, how much portion the Q Limited is going to get, we have to calculate that. So interest on this Idea Limited is going to have some interest expense, because interest and tax of Idea Limited is remaining to be adjusted. So interest on all the 3 term loans it will pay, and later interest on debentures. The debenture holders are 75 lakh 25,000, so it has to pay that amount also. So after that, the profit which the tax of profit of tax after tax the Idea Limited would be having is 15 lakh 22,000. Okay, now out of this we have to find only for the Q Limited. The total equity shareholders are 47 lakh 25,000, which we found shareholders. We have only required to find for the Q Limited shareholders, which they are going to get as a profit. So we're dividing with that profit amount, by that ratio we are going to get the amount. That the amount is 8,53,608. Okay, now let's compare with the total income which the Q Limited is going to get. Okay, equity share capital, the benefit equity shareholders are going to get this. Debenture holders are going to get the debenture holders which the debentures are issued into 12% interest. They are going to get this amount. So the total income they are going to get after the acquiring is done by the Idea Limited, they are going to get 12,31,608. But previously, before the acquisition, they were getting the profit was there 5,80,000. So this they have, we can say it's like an opportunity cost, because they were getting this much amount, and they have given for the acquisition, given the company for acquisition, so they are losing this much amount. So in fact the profit they are getting is only increase is 6,51,608. The profit is this much, but they were already getting this much, so increase in earnings happened is 6,51,608. Okay, now illustration number 31. X and Y, two private companies, decide to amalgamate into a new holding company, Z Limited. On 1st November 2015, it's going to amalgamate, while the new company is to commence from 1st January 2016. Now, company is going to start from 1st January. Okay, we have to consider that all the transactions are completed by 30th June. That means 1st Jan to 30th June, all the transactions are completed by this time. So we have to calculate everything 6 months. Okay, half yearly. Now we have to find the computation of the number of shares to be issued. The XY Limited, which they are going to be amalgamated into Z Limited. We have to find the number of shares to be issued to them. Okay, and also the cash flow available to Z Limited based on the following information which has been given below. So what is going to happen? There are two companies, X and Y, which is going to form into Z. The Z Limited will take all the equity share of this and this company, and it will issue its own shares. The Z Limited company is going to take both the shares which are there right now, and freshly they are going to issue fully paid up shares. Okay, now the shares which is to be issued by the Z company, that we have to calculate. That how is to be calculated? The number of shares to be issued is to be calculated by multiplying the future annual maintainable profit available to the equity shareholders in each of the two companies by the agreed price earning ratios. So price earning ratios itself means we have to capitalize future annual maintainable profit. So from the given information, we are having future annual maintainable pre-tax profit before interest and dividend. Okay, we have to find what we have to find. We have to find for equity shareholders future maintainable profit after tax, and we have to capitalize with the P ratio. So in the solution, they have taken the values. Later we have paid the debenture interest, that is 2 lakh. The 10% is 20,000. So we'll get profit before tax. Now 2,10,000. We'll reduce the tax 50%, which has been given in the third line of 261, page number 50%. We'll reduce that. Later we'll pay the preference dividend, because we have to find for equity shareholders. So we'll pay 8% on 1 lakh of Y Limited. We'll get 8,000. Reducing it, we'll get profit to equity shareholders. Now this profit we have to capitalize with the P ratio. P ratio is 10 and 8. Dividing this, we'll get 87. We'll get 10,50,000, 3,84,000. Now on the fourth point, they have given Shares in the holding company are to be issued to the shareholders in subsidiary companies at a premium of 20%. Okay, it's issued not at 10 rupees but 20% premium. So premium amount would be 10 into 20%, that is 2 rupees would be the premium. Okay, so 10 plus 2 is 12. 12 rupees per share. This is the value, 12 rupees per share. How many number of shares will divide? With 12 we'll get 87,500 and here 32,000. Okay, so the purchase consideration is face value, that is 10 rupees, 87,500 shares and 32,000 shares into 10 is going to give this much amount, and the securities premium is rupees 2 per share, that is 2,39,000. So this is the total purchase consideration. Okay, this is 2 rupees on the shares. Now they have asked to calculate the cash flow to Z Limited. Z Limited cash flow we are required to find. Now understand that Z Limited is the combination of both this company. They have given the adjustments. It is expected that the group profits of the new company will be at least 4,50,000, which will be required as a working capital. So that has been used as a working capital. For this, it is planned to make a further issue. It is going to issue further 37,500 shares at a premium of 30% on 1st May 2016. Okay, so the Z company is going to issue the shares, 37,500 shares. So if it's going to issue, it's going to get the money. And we know the cash statement, how the cash statement is prepared. It has two parts, that is receipts and payments. On the left side receipts comes and the payment is given on the right side. Okay, so in the left side we'll take the receipt, that is 37,500 shares when issued will get the money. So we'll get at 10 rupees each, and it is sold at premium 30%, so 3 rupees. 30% of this will get 112,500. Okay, now they are telling the new shares, and this have been issued on 1st May 2016. The new shares will not rank for interest and dividend. So new shares, they are not going to get any interest or dividend. So this we have to ignore while calculating the dividend and the interest amount. Okay, now out of this public issue, the issue which they have received, that is the issue of shares, this which they have issued on 1st May, they are going to get an advance. They are going to give an advance 2,50,000 and 2 lakh. Okay, so if they are going to give, the money is going to flow out. So here 2,50,000 and 2 lakh is being given. Now when we give the money, when we give the advance, we are going to get the interest, which is 15% to be paid monthly. Okay, so 1st May the issue is done, and from that issue it is advance have been given. So 1st May to 30th June we have to find the interest amount. 15% into 2 divided by 12, and on 2,50,000 and also on 2 lakh. So interest we are going to receive. So it's been written here. Later, preliminary expenses are 8,000, administrative expenses for half year. Okay, so half yearly expenses they have given, that is 16,000. So it's an expense, 8,000, 16,000 is going to be flowing out. Okay, now the expenditure will be covered by temporary overdraft facility. So overdraft is 1,600 for the 6 months. So 1,600 is also our expense. Later they have told provision for 7,500 should be made. Provision, we know there's no cash flow happening, it's a non-cash flow thing, so it would not appear in the cash flow statement. Okay, and on 30th June it is planned to pay interim dividend, and for which the percentages are been given. Okay, as in the first point we read that Z Limited is going to acquire the shares of X Limited as well as Y Limited. Okay, if it's going to acquire the shares of X Limited and Y Limited, that means the Z Limited is the shareholders of these shares. Okay, if this company is paying the dividend, so they are going to receive the Z company's shareholders are going to receive the dividend amount. So on 10 lakh and 4 lakh, the percentage is 5% and 4.4% they are going to receive. And Z Limited is dividend rate is 4%, which it is going to pay for the shares which it has issued. And we know the dividend is not paid on this premium amount, it would be only paid on the 10 rupees value. So 11,95,000 would be the 4%. So here it would be dividend payable. Okay. Afterwards, it's been total and the balance amount is written as 42,950. So this was the solution. It was a good question. You can try solving it. Okay. Illustration 32. Tridel Limited is in the business of making sports equipment and the company operates from Thailand, and it has identified Tri Toys Limited, that is an Indian company, and has going to take over the Tri Toys Limited. Okay. So the cash flows are given. Tri Toys Limited cash flow is given. Tridel Limited's cash flows are given. Okay. Now net worth is also given. We have to consider a few more adjustments in the cash flows for calculating the value of business. Later, they have provided the anticipated cash flows after takeover. Okay, after takeover is this. So, you are required to advise the management the maximum price for the Tri Toys Limited. If we will find the value of business of Tri Toys Limited, we can easily calculate the price which to be quoted for the selling. Okay, for selling and the price which the Tridel Limited will be paying for this company. So here if we'll see, the post takeover cash flows are given in crores, so we can multiply with 100 to make it into lakhs. So after merger, post takeover, the cash flow is going to be this, but before merger the cash flows are this one. Okay, 16, it's in the descending order, so we'll reverse it. 1600, 2000 and all. So the merger and after, without merger, the effect is synergy effect, we'll say. Because of the merger, the company was able to make this much cash flows. Okay, if it was without the merger, the cash flows would be only 1600 and so on. So the difference is the synergy effect. This is due to the Tri Toys company. Okay, now we are having the two tables, that is if merger happens and if merger does not happen. As merger happened, so the cash flows are this of the Tri Toys company, and if merger has not happened, so the cash flows are given. Okay, 300, 600 and so on. So if we'll see here, after merger, it's in the initial years there is no the cash flows are less compared to the previous pre-merger position, but afterwards from the year 4 it is increasingly, and it's even the twice and the thrice of the pre-merger situation. Okay. So the cash flows which we have taken for the 10 years, because everything has been taken for the 10 years, and we'll discount, we'll find the present value without merger and with merger, what would be the Indian company's cash flows. Okay, so we have taken the difference, and this is the differential valuation. If there would have no been, if no merger happened, then we'll have to settle with this amount only. we'll have to go, मतलब जाने देना पड़ेगा अपॉर्चुनिटी कॉस्ट, जो इतना बेनिफिट जो हमें मिल रहा है वो उसे हमें जाने देना पड़ेगा. ठीक है, नाउ वैल्यू एज पर, okay, so now here we got the value as per the cash flows, but they are telling this is the only cash flow from operations, but there are some net worth values which have been given in the question, which the Tri Toys Limited is having. So we have to make some adjustments and in that value of business. Okay, the company is having 75 lakhs worth machine, but when if his Tridev company is not going to buy that, it's not able to use that, so it would have to be sold, and for 60 lakhs, 50 lakhs it has to be sold. Okay, so तो एसेट में मतलब ये भी वैल्यू में ऐड हो जाएगा, ये तो है ही, प्लस these many other adjustments are to be made in the valuation. Okay, this is only from the operations, these are from the net worth. So 50 would be the realized value. Inventories and receivables, these have been given, but they have told to make certain adjustments, so we have to consider this adjusted value is 150 lakhs. Okay, so inventories and receivables we took it as 150. The liabilities will be discharged full on takeover along with an employee settlement of 90. Okay, so the liabilities they are saying fully discharged, so 165, 250 and 90. So 165, 250 and 90, so this would be the liability, so this would be reduced because it reduces the value of business, so it would be reduced. Then the fourth point, they are telling the Tridev will invest a sum of 150 lakhs. The company is going to invest in the Indian company 150 lakhs it's going to invest. That means it's a liability for the Indian company. That is 150 lakhs for the first year, and the second year it's 50 lakhs. Second year, that means we have to bring to the present value. First year it's okay, 150 lakhs. Second year 50 lakhs would be brought to the present value. It would give 38. We'll subtract, we'll get the value, maximum amount which is to be quoted. That is the value of the business of Tri Toys company. Okay, this is to be quoted for the मतलब जो लोग पे करना, really they should pay, the Tri-Dye Limited should pay this much amount. Okay, so this they would quote. Now illustration number 33. The directors of public limited company are considering acquisition Subhash Limited company. They are going to acquire Subhash company. Now the balance sheet has been given. Later, even the profit details have been provided. There were no change in share equity, issued share capital of Subhash Limited. Okay, the shares were remaining the same. Replacement cost is the realizable value has been given, and few adjustments are there. Now what we are required to find is estimate the equity value. We have to find. We know what are the equity shareholders hold, equity share amount as well as reserves amount. So they have given some methods through which we have to find the equity capital value. So these are the few methods which we have to remember, and the formulas and the things which it includes that we have to remember. So balance sheet value, we know the equity shareholders holds 4 lakh and reserves amount 3 lakh. So 4 lakh shares and 3 lakh amount they are going to get. So that would be the balance sheet equity value. Replacement value, we have to add this replacement amount, that is fixed assets. It would be replaced with 8 lakh. So it is right now at 6 lakh in the balance sheet. So 2 lakh would be added, and stock is also 3 lakh replacement cost, and right now it's 2 lakh. So the difference would be of the equity will increase the equity value. Okay, so this has been the replacement value. Now realizable value is same, the capital and the reserves will remain same. Here the realizable values has been given, that is 5,40,000, but in fact in balance sheet it is 6 lakh, so it has been reduced. So we'll reduce that. Reduction in stock, it has told that it is 3,20,000 realizable value. In books, in balance sheet it is only 2 lakhs. That means there's an increase, so we'll add. Here it is told in the third point, it is anticipated that 1% of the may prove difficult to be realized. So we have assumed that realized means only it will affect the realizable value. So 1% would be like bad debt, so we have to reduce that from the debtors, so that would be reduced. So the equity value would be 7,56,600. Now the fourth point, they have asked to find the equity values through Gordon's dividend growth model. We know what's the Gordon's dividend growth model. The formula is P0 is equal to D1 upon KE minus G. So let's see whether they have given all the required things for the solution or not. So we have to find D1, that is dividend. So here it's been provided that price per share we are required to find, earning per share is required, retention ratio, cost of capital. If we'll see there, nowhere it is provided that R is not given, that is return which you are going to get, dividend percentage has not been given. So it's going to be difficult. So for that we require to find the profit earning ratio, profit retained ratio, because here already dividend is paid, so we'll get to know how much is retained and how much has been paid out. Okay, so if we'll see, as I told you, profit earned in a company, some is paid and some is retained. Okay, so this is known as, it's dividend paid, so this is dividend payout ratio, and the profit which is retained is denoted with B. Okay, so this is profit retained upon profit earned. So in this question, if we'll see profit retained, that is after paying the dividend, whatever is there, it has been retained in the company. So this is the profit retained. In real, the profit earned is this much, 83,000 and all this. So the same way here it's been done. The average has been found. Total is taken. Here also total has been taken. So the B would be profit earned divided by profit retained. Okay. After finding the both of them, we got the B. Now for finding R, we are required to know the return on investment. So the formula is this much: average investment is equal to capital plus reserve minus half of the profit retained. Okay, so profit before extraordinary items is to be considered while we are taking the return on investment, because extraordinary items does not happen every time. So the return on investment is better to take before that. So it's taken as profit is 80,000. 4 lakh, 3 lakh is the reserve. Now minus half of the profit retained. So the profit retained is 35,500 for this year. So we'll take half of the this. This is the formula which you have to learn. So the R is 11.73. Okay. Now growth is G is equal to B into R. These are all the formulas which we did in the first and the second part of the video. So it would be better if you have not watched, we watch that. So it would make the work simple. Okay, so B into R, it would give the growth rate. So we got the growth rate as 5.08. Now putting it into this formula is quite simple. Now we have reached to the, we got the growth rate, we got the return R and everything which is required. Now what we need is, we have to take the average profit, because profit from the profit earned is the dividend paid. Okay, so from the average profit, that is 83,500 plus 78,000 and all this, we have found the average, that is 67,700. From this we are going to pay the dividend. So dividend is, if we know B plus dividend payout ratio is equal to 1, so dividend payout ratio would be 1 minus B. Okay, so earnings into dividend payout ratio will give us D1. So earning at the year end 1 is 67,700. We are considering it as earning at the 1 year, because we have taken the average, and 1 minus B, that is KE minus growth rate. So KE is 10%, which has been given the question, that is cost of capital is 10% of Chandra Limited. So we have to take this KE, and growth rate is 5.08, which we found. So we can find the Gordon's growth rate model by putting into this formula all the values. Later we'll get this value, but what they are told, okay, we have to only find this. And what else? In the last point, they have told to find PE ratio model. PE ratio model is, for that they have given this adjustment. The current return on investment of public limited company is 10%. The current investment of the company is 10%, and Subhash Limited, the P ratio is 8, although this companies tend to be okay. This public company is going to take over Subhash company, and they are saying that public company is having P ratio as 8, while the Subhash company is very small company compared to this. Okay, so if we'll think here we are having profit as 80,000. If we'll multiply with the P ratio, that means it will, the possible value is, the value of equity is 6,40,000. But as the company Subhash Limited is much smaller, so we can consider little bit less value than this 8. We can take 80,000 into 6. We can even take 80,000 into 7. We'll take a lesser value than this 8 P ratio, as the company is smaller. Okay, so we can also take 80,000 into 7, 80,000 into 6, but the maximum possible value of the equity would be profit into the P ratio, that is 6,40,000, which they are given as a P ratio as 8 in the book. Okay, so here it ends. I have tried to cover all the questions, and hope you liked it. If you are able to understand, then do comment below in the comment section. Thank you. Now illustration number 6, how we find, we have to find the free cash flow to equity. For finding free cash flow to equity, we have to, same way we have to go, we have to first find the free cash flow to the firm, later add the interest 1 minus T, and we have to subtract interest 1 minus T and add net borrowings. Okay, so for finding the free cash flow to the firm, first in this example, the same is the example, but 1,000 interest is there and net borrowing is 5,000. So if you know the balance, if you know the P&L, sales amount is 1 lakh and cost 75,000, depreciation is 20,000. Now here in this question they are telling interest as 1,000. After doing all the adjustments, we are going to get profit before tax. Okay, this is how we solve. The P&L account is prepared in this way. So here the 4,000 is taken. So after that we'll provide the tax 35 percentage, that is 1400. So we'll get profit after tax, it is 2600. For finding the free cash flow, we'll have to add the depreciation which we charge, that is 20,000, because the non-cash thing, non-cash item, and we'll also subtract changes in working capital. Changes in working capital is 1000, and late in previous question, changes in capital spending will subtract, so that is 10,000. So we'll get 11,600 after doing the adjustments. Okay, so this is free cash flow to the firm. If we'll subtract interest 1 minus t and add net borrowing, we are going to get the free cash flow to equity. Okay, so 1 minus the interest, 1,000, 1 minus 35% is going to give us 650, and net borrowing is 5,000. If we'll do the adjustments, we are going to get 15,950. Okay, so this is how it's been solved. So here illustration 6, it's also simple. Just follow the same pattern. First find the free cash flow to firm, later do the 2-3 adjustments, you'll get the free cash flow to equity. But here interest was there, so we have added that also.